first implant that I had is on the top of the muscle. So it's under the skin and top of the muscle, which according to the doctors which I talk with, that's the old style of doing the breast implant. So most of this time now they do the implant on under the muscle because it's more safer and it has a good result compared to the under the skin.
After the surgery, my second surgery, I feel like there is something wrong with my implants. Because the other one is really high like this. And then the other one is like a natural. And then my doctor said it's because the other one, the right breast, the pocket is still there. And then the left one, she needs to make a new pocket because the pocket is already closed.
They heal themselves already.
Yeah.
That's why you have a new pocket and an old pocket.
Yeah.
So what happened to your breast implant?
Recently I have found, maybe 8 months ago now, I found very large lymph nodes under here swollen. And originally the doctors thought it was cancer or something like that. So I went and had my ultrasounds done, 2 different ones, and they confirmed that it is my implants have ruptured, both of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got to get onto that and get them
And that's the
redone.
implant from, it was
the French
company,
PIP.
yeah, which came out on the news, all over the news in Australia about a year ago, I think.
It's a big...
So what they tell you after you contact them about the leakage?
She just mentioned, I was inquiring what sort of implants they were, like how come they could burst, because I'm supposed to have a special cohesive gel and stuff that shouldn't be like flooding through my body, and what's going on. And they just mentioned that it was the PIP and I need to get them out straight away.
So are they going to replace everything for you?
They did offer to do that, but the doctor that I previously saw isn't at that clinic anymore, and there's another guy, and I researched his what he does, and I'm really not that pleased with it, comfortable with it. And I think if this is my body and I want to be happy with the look, I'm not just going to do anyone just because they're going to do it for me. I'm happy to pay and have something I'm happy with. So I'm going to go to somebody else.
For people that don't know you, can you share some of the story?
I did 8.5 years, I know you didn't want to talk about it, but I did 8.5 years with lay girls, and that was it was so amusing. I had so much fun. I was with older girls, do you know what I mean? And they kind of took me under their wing, and I didn't have to go and learn a lot of hard lessons that other people had to go and learn, because they'd already been there and done that.
Okay, so for people that are out of Australia, can you also explain what is lay girl?
Lay Girls was like a Tits and Feathers Las Vegas style show that was all female impersonators, all transsexuals. That it ran for 40 years, so it's one of the longest running shows in Australia.
Advice for someone wanting to become a cartoonist would probably be to develop your own style. A lot of artwork now is done on the computer and looks very same. So develop your own style so you look different, and draw things that you're excited about. I'm not a fan of cars, so you'll rarely see a car or technology in my cartoons. It's mainly organic people, animals, things like that. So draw what you love and develop your own style. Don't copy someone else's.
I think the biggest thing would probably be the stigma that sex workers face. And they can face stigma and discrimination in the workplace when looking for work, in the health services industry when people are trying to receive any sort of medical or health professional attendance, that there can be stigma and judgment from the people that they're trying to get a job from or to receive any medical attention from. And also from the broader community, there's still a lot of old-fashioned and archaic views about the sex industry, and people who don't necessarily see it as a job or see it as work. And so that's where some issues can arise for workers because of other people's judgment.
Seahorses are the truly unique not just because of their horse-like shape, and they are among the only animal species on Earth which is the male give birth to the child.
That's right. It changes gender and
Yes.
gives birth to the
So is that, a definition have anything to do with the name of seahorse?
It is. It's precisely why it is called seahorse, because we are transgendered, and so in a sense we are predominantly male to female, although the club does allow for female to male transgendered individuals, but not mainly it's male to female.
Okay, majority is male to female. And I know when I talked to you long time ago, you made one thing very clear. Seahorse is non-sexual.
That's correct. It's designed to cater for as many people as possible. So its very nature is that it's about learning to be yourself and giving you a space in which, particularly those who have been in the closet for a long time, they can come safely to a venue without any expectations of undue behaviour, and just to talk to others of the same background and feel comfortable that there are other people in the world like me or like you.
Are we ready? Yeah, Maniela Mardi Gras 2013.
COMT, can we just stay on this side, please? So we're not blocking the way. And then the first kapahaka action is 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, I'm a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit frightened. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and move!
We're looking forward to a fabulous night in celebration of the remarkable Carmen Rupe, who blazed a trail for all of us that followed in her glittering footsteps.
Isn't that sound amazing?
It's amazing. We've come with the full intention of blowing Oxford Street away.
No, just talk about the experience.
Hold on. You're going to do that? Wait a minute. You're going to do that?
Yes.
Then let me put my banner back on.
Ooh, it's proud.
I look all smirched.
78.
Oh yeah, I was one of the 78ers, the original guys who came up and did it in 1978.
Oh, wow.
They started it. And they continued
As a 78er, 35 years ago, we marched for the right to be able to love who we wanted to love. Really simple. 35 years on, we're still not legally able to marry and spend time with the people that we love and be recognised legally for our relationships. That's the next thing, Julia Gillard or whoever's the Prime Minister. It's called Allow Gay People to Marry.
So I was very young at the time. I was new to Asia. I hadn't met any trans women before, and I had no experience back in Australia. And I was just completely oblivious.
Okay. Before I say that, you don't want to see the writing on the wall. That time, maybe you're thinking with a different head.
Thinking with a different head. My only experience had been with women before.
What happened after that?
Yeah, she told me, and I was in a state of shock, but at the same time I was falling in love. And
after a few dates?
Well, it was probably about 2 weeks. It doesn't take long for me.
Okay. Well, 25 years old, I don't blame you.
Yeah, and she was very, very attractive, and very, very feminine. We talked about it a lot that night, and she told me a lot about her story, and the more I listened, the more I guess empathized with her situation. And I just thought, well, you know what, here's a person I really like. It shouldn't matter.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. I'm talking to Lily today on TSchitchat because I'm lucky enough to be the partner of a wonderful transgender man. And I must admit, when I first started going out with Gabriel, it did sort of make me think about how I would define my own sexual orientation. In a past life, when I was a much younger person, I went out with a guy for a long time, and then I came out and started going out with women. And then when I met Gabriel, Gabriel's a trans guy, and so it did make me think, would that make me straight, or could I continue to identify as gay? I never really identified as lesbian, I just didn't like the word, but I was happy enough to identify as gay, and then I went through a bit of a period of being a little baby dyke with spiky hair and refusing to wear dresses and everything. But now that I'm happily in a relationship with Gabriel, I identify as queer. And I think it really sums up our relationship and our outlook on life as well pretty well. I think queer can cover anything which isn't completely straight or is a little bit bent, a little bit twisted. And it can also be a bit of an umbrella term for any sort of relationship which isn't, you know, a heterosexual relationship, or two women or two men, or any combination of that. And I think it works quite well for us.
Do you have any future plans to actually, go forward for your singing career, things like that?
Yeah, look, I've got lots of plans on. Singing's not the only thing that I enjoy doing and that I do well, and I write as well. So
wow.
I had my first piece of erotic fiction published in November of last year, and I started in theory an associative creative writing degree 2 weeks ago. We're now into week 3 and I haven't done any of the readings because I've been doing this, but when I get back to Melbourne I'll be getting into my degree, and my plan is to write an autobiography as well. So that and trying to find time for original songwriting and to get my own material out as well, and support the causes and the charities that I want to support.
So when we talk about anal sex,
Yeah.
there's another thing about fingering.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you like to be fingered?
No, I don't really like being fingered.
Yes, actually.
I don't know why.
I know a lot of people don't like to be fingered.
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. It doesn't feel right. It feels like I need to go to the toilet.
Oh, okay.
So
that's how you feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, I feel like I don't like finger. I don't like to be a
because
person
especially when they do like that.
They try to find a remote control in your ass.
Yeah, they were like looking for what, a diamond or something. It just feels wrong. It just feels wrong for me.
Largely, I deal more with my motivational speaking, and that's something that I feel very passionate about. And in a way, it makes me feel very powerful, because I see, when I do it, I really see how I affect people's lives. When I speak about myself and my transition and just becoming this person. So when I talk about that body of work of my inspirational or motivational speaking, that is something that I feel very strongly and passionately about, more than I feel about my pornography work at this point. Though I do feel very, very, very connected to my pornography work. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And I feel very powerful making pornography, because I think it's a very good thing. So it enables me to reach somebody to say, my vagina has empowered me. And yes, I'm a man, but I'm a man with a vagina. So I definitely do relate to that.
But when we're talking about vagina, it's a sexual organ, right?
Yeah.
So you love your vagina.
Yes.
But how about the femininity? Do you embrace your femininity?
100% I do. But what does that mean? For me, my femaleness and my femininity is my vulnerability. It's something that I feel that is more about my emotional state, that I always pushed to the side because I was taught that men aren't emotional or men aren't vulnerable. And so for me, I am very vulnerable feeling at times, and I'm very emotional. And I feel for me that's that masculine, feminine that I like to embrace.
Having sex or making love?
Okay. Do I have to differentiate between those two words first, or? Okay.
I don't know. I would say,
making love.
Making love.
making love.
The intimacy, and I like that.
Both. And sometimes rap is very good too.
I'll just go with making love because we will have sex if we have love, isn't it? Of course, making love, because when you are making love, you feel you have the emotions, you have the attachment to someone. While having a sex is just
happen just like a one-night stand, with no feelings at all.
Sometimes you just need a hard fart.
So after 2 weeks went by, one day he got, we had the drinks and we started to get tipsy. I got tipsy, he kind of got wasted.
Okay, wow, wasted.
Yes, and he wanted me to drink more, so I did. I drank more because I trusted him, and I could see he wanted me to get drunk.
Okay.
And then I didn't get drunk, he was. And then he sat behind me and he asked me something, and he was telling me the story about how he lost his job, lost his house, lost his car, all this kind of stuff.
He lost everything, but he got you?
Yes.
Oh.
And then he got me, poor me.
Oh.
And
lucky
then,
you.
No, poor me.
Oops. Okay,
lucky
poor
him.
you, poor you.
And then he was giving me this, long story about losing everything and how to get it all back, he needed money.
Money?
Yes.
Money. No. So
not $1, not 50 cents, okay. Not $10. Okay. He wanted thousands. Have you got thousands? Last time I look at my bank account, no.
I am taken. 10 years in a relationship. Can you believe that? 10 freaking years. To be honest, I think patience. I cannot explain how patient he is with me, like with everything. Like, I'm very stubborn sometimes. I have hormonal imbalances and I go crazy, and then he's been there for like through thick and thin. Like, he saw me transition from an ugly duckling to a swan. Yes, something like that. He's very patient with me, so that's the best thing about my partner.
Basically, because I'm from the country, Wagga Wagga. So I grew up, it's pretty straight. Well, super straight actually. I mean, there was sort of no other way. Like, I knew a couple of gay people, gay guys, but like one of them hung himself when he was about 15 or 16. Just couldn't cope, because it was just really homophobic city and just backward in certain ways. But so
you don't have much knowledge about sexuality or whatever?
No, not really. Like, I grew up with the internet, which was good because I could explore and find all these different things. And
I think this is what happened to the new generations.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Like, especially come from the country where you don't have a local community, like a local scene.
But I'm just wondering, so you never thought about if they're gonna ask you?
Well, back then, no, because I always went back then. I went, oh, they can tell by the voice. But as I said, back then. Well, when you're 18, 19, you have no fear.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then there was one night, I said I was at one of the roughest clubs, and I'm talking to this guy, and there'd be people that'd go and trout. So this girl went over to this guy and told him what I was. Mm-hmm. And then the guy goes, oh, come, let's get outside. So I went outside and he belled with me.
Oh, God.
And he goes, you're a fucking thing. He goes, you didn't tell me you're a bloke and all that. And I went, why should I? No,
yeah,
we're not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I come back inside and he come back in the nightclub, wanted to go with me again. Well, the bouncer got rid of him. So I'm in the toilet and the girl comes in, she goes, oh, you shouldn't have told him, you should have... No, I said, oh, look, shut up, bitch. She goes, no, you should... I said, listen, are you jealous because I'm so beautiful he wanted me and not you? Well, she just kept going on. So I gave her 3 warnings. Yeah. I said, get out of my face. She kept going on, and I went, listen, I've had enough of you. So I grabbed her by the hair, took her into the toilet, put her head in the toilet, flushed it, pulled it up, and I went, now fuck off.
So this is your sister fighting.
As I said, back then, that's when I learned, I just went, no one's ever going to hit me again. As I said, I did. And it was like once I become a girl, it was like I grew balls, and I went, right, that's it. Yeah. And back then, you had to protect yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sometimes things, when we become a girl, we become much more tougher and everything.
You do.
you need to do what you need to do.
I guess
basically,
if there has been a sexual assault, there are a number of things you can do. You can go to the emergency section of a hospital to actually be treated in hospital for if you have any injuries that they can be treated. You can, if you elect to do so, have a rape kit taken where they could actually do check for fluids that the perpetrator might have left behind and things like that. And so it's important to remember that if you have been assaulted, you can go to emergency and actually get treatment there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not everyone wants to report or go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes unfortunately, some people, they are very shy, so they rather just keep it to themselves.
Yes, they would. If you're not going to report a sexual assault, go home, have a bath, soothe yourself.
Okay.
Then the next day, go to your doctor, tell him what's happened, be upfront so you don't want to report it. He'll give you a full STI check. You may decide to take the morning after pill, for which you don't have to go to a doctor, you can just go to a chemist. So you can go and get the morning after pill from the chemist, you can go to your doctor and get an STI screen. If you think that you might have come into contact with HIV, then you can access what they call PEP, which is post-exposure prophylaxis.
Okay.
So those
the purpose of that is try to kill all the virus.
To kill the virus.
Yeah, to stop the virus settling into your body. And so there's the morning after pill as a contraceptive
For the female?
For female, for cisgendered women. And then there's also the PEP for if you think that you've been exposed to HIV. And that's not just a pill, it's actually a treatment, a series of pills that you need to take over a month. And you should do that within 72 hours of your exposure to HIV.
If you don't do during the 72 hours,
the chances of the chances of contracting HIV increase, and so it's best to go and get PEP as soon as you possibly can if you're concerned that you've been exposed.
Okay.
And with PEP, you take the medications for a month, and then you need to be tested again within the next 3 months.
Yeah. So just taking just taking PEP doesn't mean that that's it. That's all you have to worry about. You have to go back to be tested.
Again, what are the challenges that you have faced being a transgender, and how have you overcome them?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would speak not only for myself, but for all the transgender people in the community, because I truly believe that we have the same challenges, although we have different diversities, we come from different statures in life, and I truly believe that the acceptance in the society is a truly difficult thing to do and to have as well. So I overcame that challenge by just being myself. Only by showing our true colors to the people, that they can feel that we have what it takes to be respected in the society, and we are also an asset, not a liability in the society.
My pants! Or 2 layers of them. Went very well. I think all the girls did very well.
Doing this documentary.
Yeah, I was the main actress for a film festival, a European film festival in year 2001, which they do a live documentary about me. Yeah, they film me everywhere I go, and even I had my operation for my boobs in Thailand. They filmed that everything.
Wow.
Yes, and then end up filming my housemates and my friends and of course my mom.
Okay.
They film my mom as well.
And then something went wrong when the
It's
mother...
just like that. We just sit together next to each other in front of the camera with two of them at the front, and we were just chatting, and then suddenly she opened up. She said, I didn't know where this come from. I didn't expect that you're gonna be who you are.
Okay.
I was in shock. I mean, like, you should know, because when I was a little boy, I was like a very feminine boy.
Yeah.
I didn't even play with boys' toys. I play with girls' toys. I like to dress up and that kind of thing. I mean, maybe she just did wanna notice what I was doing when I was a kid, or she's just being denial. So we had a bit of argument in front of a camera.
Okay.
So cameraman was loving it.
Yeah,
so she was teared up and everything. I had to get out of the camera and then come back again, and you know, it's like Jerry Springer.
Yeah. But okay, so the whole thing is, well, it's good for the camera, but not particularly good for you. But I want to ask you one question right now.
But you know what? It's good for me as well, because if that never happened, then I wouldn't know.
Okay. Yeah.
We never talk about it.
Look back on time.
We never talk about
think
it.
it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
And then one day my brother came to me in the bedroom, and he said that well, I didn't go to church. There was one Sunday I didn't go to church, and he went and he came back and he said that he learned in class today that, and my brother actually, I still didn't understand what gay was. I didn't know what that meant, but my brother called me that, and then
he used that vocabulary.
Yeah, I think he used gay or faggot. I can't remember.
Okay,
but he used it's
Strong
one of
words.
those two, or some other word. And he said to me, I learned today that, you know, we got taught in our class today that God doesn't love gays, I think is the word. That's what he said to me, and that really broke my heart.
Even like my parents actually knew already, and they told me, one thing they told me, please don't go back to my country. Yeah, because they understand what's gonna happen to me if I go back there. It's all bad things might come to me. Yeah, because they realize that Indonesian people cannot accept someone like me.
Okay.
So my father said, sit down, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. This could either lead to a caning, which he canes me for, or something else, which I didn't expect them to ask me to choose, to tell me to leave.
What do you mean by leaving?
That is when my father put up that piece of paper and said, do you understand what this means? I said, yeah, that's my name.
Yeah.
Your name, I said to my father and my mom and my brother. Yes. And he says, whose name is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know this name.
Yeah.
I said, no, that's you. And then he find out a picture of me when I did my first drag show.
Okay.
All of that, they were asking me, which one is you?
Okay.
They can't tell. Thank God. I was so excited. Oh, you can't tell. No, they're all my friends. They're not girls. No, they're girls. What's wrong with you? They're girls. No, they're not. One of them is you. Don't lie to me. Look at the back of my name. So this name is you, and one of them is you. You're not telling us. Fine. You are over here. Don't lie to me. He raised the cane. Do not lie. This is you. This is your name. This is who you are. Now you choose. I said, choose what? What are you talking about? If you want to be on this side, do you see that girl name on this side of the line? I said, no. Where is the name of the girl? That side. Who else is there? There's no one there. There's only you. Yes. That's you. If you want to be a girl, that's the door.
Okay.
If you want to remain a boy, you are with the family. I told them, I don't have to answer. You should know my answer by now. My two friends were already outside, waiting. When I tell them to come in, I said, they are my friends. They got nothing to do with this. Yep, no problems. They're gonna help me move. Yes, because I came back a few times because I still got stuff to pick up. So that was my excuse to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that my mom would be okay. That I want to
To
live
let
my
you
life
be-
the way I
yeah,
am.
yeah.
I thought now that it's all out, I hope that they have dealt with it. They're gonna be okay with it. But I came back a few times, but I realized that it's not gonna happen. And then one of them said to me, you should not come back because we are going to have a lot of religious people coming to the house, because there is a religious priest that comes to the house to preach once a week. So there's so many of the students keep coming back. So my mom doesn't want, my whole family don't want to be embarrassed by me being there, So they just told me to not come back ever again,
And on top of that, I'd also say that, Leela's parents, they've lost a child, and for them, they find support through their church and through their family and friends. And it can be very hard for a family member who feels that, they're living a, religious lifestyle, if it's Christian or Catholic, to reach out to some of the support groups that exist for trans parents and children, because they need something that's faith-based. So we almost need to think about how do we make support services available that, I guess, will help parents who are Christian or even from a Muslim background or from a Catholic background, because for them it goes against the religion, but it doesn't mean that there is some way that we can't educate and inform them that they're not alone and their kids can get support.
And I think just quickly on that religion thing, I think there is this idea that people who are very religious can't accept, gender diverse children and things like that. And there are leaders in, all faith-based groups that are doing incredible work around this. And I think that, that work needs to be more visible and really supported, so that people do have community leaders in their faith that they can speak to.
So how much is the hearing?
The hearing aid.
Can you also show?
This hearing aid is not cheap. They cost probably from 5,000 and up. If you get cochlear implant, that's probably about $10,000. They're very small. They got different sizes and different prices for all of them. But they're easy to break, and they're not waterproof. So I have to get it checked at least maybe every 2 or 3 months. If something's wrong with it, I have to go back and forth, change my emails. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going back and forth, back and forth. To compare to Australia to Europe. Australia, you only got the limit to access the system from 18 until 26. If you're over 26, you're going to pay full price. Europe is free for all ages, so I don't understand the difference. But I know it's all about money. It costs money, yes. The technology is not cheap, yes. But it would be nice to have that, the people that need it the most, they can go through that without being harassment, pay the full price.
Start again. Say why.
Okay, why?
It's harder than you think sometimes. My problem is I don't think about these things. I really don't. I block everything out all the time, that when I'm asked about stuff, I don't know. Like, I forget. I don't even think about stuff.
The program just doesn't work, and
it's not true though. It's sort of, yeah, but it sort of is and it isn't true. It would have worked. It was just personally me. What's the question?
okay. Okay. How long for you to relapse again after the first treatment?
I started using within a couple of days of getting out the first time, that quickly, because I just wasn't fully ready. I didn't finish the program, the first one that I've gone into. The program was longer and I left early. I felt like I was right. I talk myself into believing that I was cured and I didn't need it anymore, and I left, and obviously I relapsed almost immediately.
And you told me there's one point you actually working for like the Victoria.
Oh yeah. The last thing I did before I stopped like managing gender projects was I was on the 2013 to 2013 Victorian Ministerial Advisory Committee, talking to the health ministers, and actually the health minister wrote some article one day quoting some things I said to him in a forum once in a committee meeting, and it got the government to actually fund some things for the transgender children that year. They gave the Royal Children's some more money. They didn't take on board everything I was saying, but I did a really poignant speech, and it got some attention.
So tell me, Ali, who are you?
I'm Ali Hogg. I'm the convener of the Equal Love campaign in Victoria, and I have been since 2009. But I've been a part of the protest since the beginning.
Yes.
And,
since 2004.
Yeah, that's when the government first changed the Marriage Act to say that marriage should only be an institution between a man and a woman, to the exclusion of all others.
Okay. 2004. You started 2004 and 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah.
It's nearly like 10 years,
nearly
right?
10 years, yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels like it's been a feat. It's been very big. In 2004, when we started, the rallies were very small and only a small minority of Australians supported marriage equality.
Yes.
So it was around 38% of Australians supported marriage equality, and now it's about 68%.
Yeah.
So it's a big jump in that amount of time to see so many Australians change their position.
Yeah,
So,
and more young people
more
actually
and more
coming
young
out and
people.
supported as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So initially there was about 100 to 150 people at the first rally. And
150 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was okay, like it was a snap action. We said as soon as they change the laws, we want people to come out on the streets. And so we had no idea, we had no expectations about how big it was going to be.
So why continue for the second year?
Well, I think the fact that they did nothing to change the laws, the Liberal Party changed the laws and the Labor Party supported the change. So it was very frustrating for a lot of people. Not only did they say that like LGBTI people can't get married, but there was no sign in politics of anybody wanting to change it, and it was very frustrating. And Australia is actually one of only a handful of countries around the world that didn't only not allow marriage equality, but they specifically banned it.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been protesting about this whole time.
What do we want? Marriage equality! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Marriage equality! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Marriage equality! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it?
But marriage equality is not sufficient in the whole struggle for rainbow liberation. We need to make sure there's same-sex education at schools and universities. We have to make sure there's public housing available for young people who get kicked out of home by homophobic parents. And we have to inject money into the health system so we can actually combat the social crisis that homophobia has created.
And over the years working with different groups, I found, or what I've learned is we all have really great passions. We all really want to make a change, but at the same time we keep butting heads. We don't know how to work together successfully quite yet. We are aiming to do that. We're in discussions with so many groups and so many organizations that are really wanting to be there for us, but we don't quite know how to make that happen. You know, even with the idea of, you know, that million-dollar question of, if you could change one thing, what would it be? There's just too much that needs changing. But I guess if we could all work together, towards the same aim, that would be great. I mean, you look at the equal marriage rallies and how many people have attended those, like what great press it's received and positive feedback. If we could get that amount of people to work on something like, I don't know, youth suicide for trans and sex diverse young people, or even healthcare, mental health and physical health care, then yeah, that would get us going, but we can't even get there, not even after 5 years of being involved with genderqueer. So we've got a long way to go.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up
and live out the true meaning of its creed. And we hold this truth to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal.
I have a dream that my 4 little children
will one day live in a nation
where they're not going to be judged by the color of their skin,
but by the content of the character.